Welcome to Albion TV presents the AO Daily Show, your source of real news in an unreal world, keeping you up to date on the latest news, events, and the great community of Albion Online. Today is Wednesday, the 25th of March, 2020, and I am your host, Shozen, and I am joined today by the incomparable Bogul, who needs another syllable at the end of his name so that this works in alliteration with Shozen. How are you doing today, Bogul?
We did like 3-4 streams in a row.
We've done a lot of streaming today. It's been an intense day. Aren't you glad we're not doing crystals after this?
Oh my, that's yesterday, right? No, I'm glad we're not. Yes, I also just spotted there's like a little spot on top of your head I need to fix. You talk about something and I fix that.
Well, I can talk about what's going to be on the daily show today because we have Patch Day Wednesday. Today, Patch 8 came out, and we've been talking about this for 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So we already know what's on it, and so should you. But in case you don't, let's open that up. I'll get you a link. I'll drop that in chat for you. You guys can follow along as Bogul figures out what's wrong with my head.
Figured it out. Works. No more black spots on your face.
Cool.
Queen Patch 8 is live today.
It is. And what a fancy patch it is. Mount carry weight bonuses are in. Now, whenever you have a mount equipped, yes, that carry weight is now applied to you. You do not have to be mounted. How joyful is that? It's a good one. I
think we should look at this in details through the patch notes later a little bit more. But because in the official news post, it's a little short, isn't it? It has the disarray, which is big, has been adjusted. We have a new scaling, a new balance scaling. We have some changes to gathering gear skills, which a lot of people didn't have on their radar. And of course, the big dagger rework as well.
Yeah, I kind of want to go through this news post here and just break it down because it's kind of like, I actually think Prince Caspian did a really good job with this one. It gives a lot of information without just giving a giant stack of notes. It's got a little bit of fluff in here. Like we have a note in here from Michael Schwan describing the intent behind the daggers. And I like it. I like how this patch contains a lot of changes to the dagger line, a new Q ability that provides an AoE attack, and a rework of underused one-handed dagger. We increase the cooldown of dash to reduce its mobility for the open world, but as many gatherers use bloodletters, and this would reduce their escape chances. We buffed the gathering gear shoe abilities to compensate. Wow, that's a sentence. Oh, God. The passive buff to mount carry weights should also help gatherers and make it all more attractive to use mounts with good carry weight. Because you know what? People were just using the same saber wolf over and over. It's the same thing. Everybody's using the same thing. This patch also addresses the current burst damage, ZVZ items, Galatine Pair, and Weeping Repeater. These items will keep their high damage potential, but it will be harder to hit as many players with them. And thanks to the changes to debuff, which we will get into in a second, the disarray debuff, no longer is this a great one-shot meta where you walk in and poof, you're dead because somebody beamed a dude with a pair of Galatines. And he walked into you and your 15 friends and just hit E.
I feel like the biggest one, the biggest change is the disarray. I feel like that's the... actually... There are so many changes in this patch.
Okay, this is probably the biggest one for our audience. Let's be clear. Right. This one is the one that we generally, we pay a lot of attention to what's going on in the high end of the game in ZVZs, and a lot of our audience are members who participate in high end ZVZs. So the disarray is something that we, Bogul and I, have been hearing about 15 times a day.
True.
Every day for about 3 weeks. So this change has been needed, and I'm trying to be diplomatic here. It's necessary, and we're looking forward to seeing how these changes actually affect the ZVZ meta.
But it's not the lead feature, right? It's not the biggest thing about the patch. I think the biggest thing is the weapon balance. And I think a very big thing for a lot of players, well, high-level gatherers, I suppose, is some of the gathering changes that made it in with the game, and some of the flagging and Hellgate fixes that have been on the radar.
A little bit of Hellgate ratting has been going on.
for a good while, hasn't it?
It seems like it's been going on forever, and these are some changes that have been needed for a very, very long time. So I know that people who are like, do we want to go into the Hellgates, or do you want to go through this in order and we can talk about the better high-level gathering?
Sure, let's go over this in order and then look at the patch notes after, so we figure out what we, all the juicy details that we can share.
Yeah, absolutely. So we did skip a couple of parts right off the bat. I think we skipped the gathering gear. Skill ranges and durations have been increased to give gatherers better odds against hostile groups. And we did kind of talk about daggers that have been reworked to have a faster auto attack speed, and the new Q coating, that poison coating on Q, it's been updated to become Bloodthirsty Blade. So it's big changes to the daggers. The daggers now are incredibly fast, and the passives on them now work.
Okay. The passives on them now work. I mean, the dagger seems to be a weapon that relies on the passives you get from high attack speed, and I think all of them are just based on getting in multiple attacks. And with that change to the speed of daggers, it should feel like a different weapon. The tree. But I think we have to wait for some people getting out there and trying it. We had in our previous show, we had a little bit of opportunity to see some of the ZVZ action with the different disarray. I'm talking about disarray again. I'm talking
well, that's because to you, you can go ahead and talk. Well, I'll give you a couple more minutes on it, Bogul. It's okay. And because honestly, anytime you are interested in anything that isn't bags, I want to let you talk about it.
I am interested in going over this from top to bottom and then digging into the patch notes when we get there.
But no, continue on. We just watched Disarray in effect, and how did you feel about it?
I share Robin's view that the healing seemed to be different and the one-shot seemed to have been lessened. So the worry about getting one-shot in the big ZZ actions was what dissuaded, I think that's a word, a lot of people from joining the big groups, and that seems to be cooler now, so fights last longer. But once you actually get damaged, healing up with a disarray debuff seems to be harder, and that makes it interesting and different, I feel like.
I agree. It does feel interesting and different. It feels good. It feels better than it was. We just saw an amazing fight between, I want to say, 5 different alliances.
Surf 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5?
4 and 5, yeah. and CIR.
Oh.
No, there were more than that in there. It wasn't 1 through 5 of Surf. I think it was 1, 2, and 5. Then a couple other alliances thrown in for good measure. It was nuts. It was a really good time. Big props to Poe and CIR for actually winning that fight. I did not think they were going to win, but it goes to show you the power of battle mounts.
Nice.
Yeah, they were outnumbered. They were outplayed in some instances, and I say that in some instances because we watched them. But clearly, overall, CIR outplayed that match and did very, very well. So on to the things that we're here to talk about. Better high-level gathering, Bogul. Let's talk about that. After extensive player feedback, we've taken steps to improve the high-level gathering experience in Albion, in addition to increasing the overall amount of T6 through 8 resources by 20% across the board. This patch also ups the respawn rate of those nodes, meaning that once a node is located, it is far more likely to be harvestable. Based on your feedback, we've also reverted the spawn behavior of small resource nodes to a state with the Queen update launch. Okay. To give a better chance of finding resources to gatherers braving high tier zones. Ooh. And on top of that, I love a sentence started with and on top of that, the overall small to large ratio has been shifted in favor of large nodes to increase the chances of finding these highly valuable gathering spots. What do you think about that, Bogul?
I like it. I think the 20% more nodes or more resources across the board is something. Does that literally mean we have 20% more resources in the game now, or is that just changed spawn behavior? Because I know that a lot of the tier 8 resources, at least that I can buy in Carlion, are transmuted. And now I'm not quite sure whether or not they sort of saw that on the top end and was like, maybe we need more. If
that's happening, maybe we need more. Well, I think that more importantly than what was happening in the markets, the people who were gathering were not having a good time.
Right.
Like, what you're supposed to have fun playing this game. Like, let's be clear, this game is a game. It's supposed to be fun. And gatherers were not having as much fun as they had been. So changes had to be made across the board to make gathering more enjoyable once again. Like, I gathered a lot at one point in this game, and then I stopped because it was just, it did get rough. It really did. You were getting ganked at a higher rate. Your outs weren't as effective. There were too many speed builds that just caught you, and there was nothing you could do. Your resources weren't worth as much. You'd spend more time out in the world to gather the same amount of resources. There were a lot of issues going on.
I'm hopeful.
Though that could just be because I left Blue Army and didn't have a giant blue donut to pick up resources, and one of the two, right?
Well, that should be a fix. I think that should be an interesting development. My thinking goes towards like, listen, if this is 20% more resources, does that affect gold prices? Because if people are not spending as much silver on transmuting, does that mean
more silver in the world?
I don't know. But there are other things that we should mention. Yellow Zone faction flagging. Apparently now, hostile players and faction flagged players can no longer interact with each other in yellow zones, meaning this is to prevent the case where hostile players would knock down faction flagged players who were then executed by enemy factions who just showed up out of nowhere usually, resulting in a lucrative ganking opportunity with zero risk, and zero risk is bad.
Bogul, can you turn yourself up? They can barely hear
you. I am all the way up.
Oh.
Hey. Hello?
Oh, you're loud to me. They fixed I don't know what that means. Okay. They fixed I.
I don't know. I hello, Chad. Hello.
You're fine. You're fine. They can hear you. Like, I think it's fine. It's okay. It's good. We've figured out the audio. We're moving on to the invisibility shrines.
No longer can you click on the thing and then accidentally actually click on a bag, where then your invisibility bubble or your bubble disappears and then everybody would just jump on you. That priority got changed back to how it's supposed to be, and that should move the gankers to the next zone, I guess. Is that it? Or
I don't know, Bogul. All I know is that people were hanging out there ganking people as they tried to turn invisible, and that was against what I believed the intent of the developers was when they put those invisibility pots there. And whenever I see players doing something that goes directly against the intent of the developers, I think of that as an exploit. So when I saw players doing that, I did not like it. Now that it's fixed, they won't be able to do it anymore. I like it. So I hate that we had to do yet another step to stop people from doing something that they were, we were trying to get them not to do. But it eventually worked.
And the last one that is on here is the Hellgate settings. What settings? But these, the rule set. Okay. So they spawn now more quickly, every 6 to 10 minutes, offering more reliable opportunities to participate. And the big one, which is has been shifted, is the fame from the sub bosses to the final boss and the final chest. These are also now protected for the party dealing the most damage to reward those who do the heavy PvE lifting. I like how this is phrased. You
do. Again, I thought this was a very good update by Caspian. Well done. Let's go on to
Exterminator patch, right? No more rats and hellgates. Are these
the Exterminator?
Are these driven out now? Do you think?
Sure. I still think we should have named this the Season of the Rat and then given out a rideable rat mount.
Talking about mounts, there's something that before we talk about the patch notes that I want to show real quick. Yeah, there is the alpaca skin that's previewable as a stag skin. It looks super cute. Look at this.
Hold on.
The thing is, though, it has like a green yellowish border, and that usually means it's the referral skin.
Oh no.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going over to Eve's stream. So apparently Eve just started their own AO Daily Show, the CCP TV over there. So I'm going to go over there and start spamming my my code to get more referrals. Come watch the original.
Wow.
Yeah, everybody likes a good idea. You see a good idea, you may basically want to copy it. I get it, CCP. I understand.
Maybe we can host them after the show.
Oh, no, that would be rude. All right, I think I've had my good fun with them for the day. Let's start talking about some of those changes that we didn't talk about in detail. There is a lot of details on how this gathering changes work other than just 20%. Do we want to go through this all, or is this the kind of thing that we say, if you really want to know the details of how the 20% is technically spawned?
And I think we already did.
Thank you. I think we did once. Okay. I feel better about that. I feel, oh, wow. But we can talk about the changes for faction flagging, because this was a big deal. People did not like this. They were irritated because some of the most fun PvP you can have in the game right now is faction PvP, right?
And that sort of got a little bit distorted by a clever use of game mechanics. And now the simple fact that sort of you flag up for PvP, whether or not that's being hostile or being faction flag, is kind of conflicting, which feels weird probably. But still, it's to prevent some sort of exploits with that. I mean, hostile players in Yellow Zone can still attack other non-faction flagged players, right? So that is where the hostile thing goes in. But if you actually want to deal with factions, now you have to flag for a faction, which feels different. Right?
I think that's a good change, mostly because of the exploits. I did not like the fact that it led to a situation where a group would go in of flagged players and just take down a group of faction flagged players and then leave them for the small number of other faction flagged players who just came in and whacked them. And you would think that you had a good chance in this because you're faction flagged, right? And you end up finding out that you are not. You don't have that good option. And so many people were having fun with factions these last few weeks when Disarray was really tuned poorly. Can we agree on that? It was just tuned poorly. We've moved on. It's no longer the bad Disarray. It's a different one now. We won't judge the new one until we get to know it. At least go on a third date with it. But there was a really bad Disarray for a while, and the only good PvP was happening in the faction fights. And we watched a number of those, and they were really, really enjoyable. I liked the faction fights, the Royal Continent fights, the what is it? The Royal Fight 3 was the last one we watched. Good stuff. I hope to see it back this weekend.
Me too. There is one exception though to the faction flagging change. If you enter these circles, that are around the chests and the PvP areas, these sort of quote unquote remove the neutral status from all players, meaning you can still knock yourselves down. And then you can also execute depending on where this is. So be careful, the rings are still dangerous. We talked about the invisibility shrine changes. We don't need to do this again.
No, we already went over that pretty good.
I guess the specifics for the Hellgates is that the 5 versus 5 spawn every 10 minutes and the 2 versus 2 spawn every 6 minutes. And the loot protection for the boss is 2 minutes, which is some numbers to remember. But that's, I mean, overall pretty... I don't do as many Hellgates. I don't know if this will fix ratting completely or not. I heard people saying, listen, if I know what I'm doing, I can still do this.
I heard similar things. People who said that if they do it perfectly, they can still do it perfectly then.
I mean,
like, I think you can't eliminate all ratting, right? You can't eliminate it completely, but you can just make it harder.
Yep.
And this just tilts it in favor of the guy who's doing the work now. Or the players. I don't want to say. Yeah.
There are also new avatar rings available. I think I can show these in game. Loop. At the Vanity Merchant, where you can trade in your adventurous tokens. If you already have the ring of the season from last year, then you can go here and adventurous tokens, trade that in, get one, and then exchange this one for the new ones. We have the Nature Spirit one, the Inferno one, the Enigma one, and the Crossed Blades. I think that was... that's also new. My favorite one is the Enigma. It's pink. I like pink sometimes.
All right. We had a recommendation in chat. Somebody asked if we could make Sasari a mod so she can no longer rig the raffles towards her anymore, and I said done. So we have another mod. Sasari, make sure these people use proper grammar. If I see any sentences without periods, or I just want you to ban them, okay? Just no, not really. No. If people use bad language, then tell them to be quiet. Just mute them for a little while. That's it. I'll take care of bannings. All right, thank you for another mod. We need more mods. Somebody had their message deleted instantly. Good job. Wow. Let's see. Can I get away with this? No. The answer is no. Raffle on, by the way.
Oh.
Yeah. We have some new avatar rings, Bogul.
I just talked about that.
Yeah, I'm glad about that. I was doing the mod thing while you were talking about that.
The next thing then.
Hideout item recovery fee reduced?
Yes.
Yeah.
No longer.
Do you think this is going to keep happening as they're going to find more and more things that they have found out they did not?
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No longer do journals cost you 40 million to receive.
What about tomes?
I don't know. But
what about tier 1 resources?
Yeah.
There's some stuff in there that's been a little wonky, is all I'm saying.
Combat balance, though, that is a lot of things.
Oh yeah, let's start with
Arcane. Let's go top down.
Okay.
We can do this. TLDR.
Well, this is actually an interesting change. Mm-hmm. The energy cost has been changed from 21 base energy cost to 20% of your max energy for the void on the Malevolent Locust. That means you can cast it 5 times.
Well, you get energy back and you have cooldown.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, it's no longer... Yeah, there was an energy issue here. And the cooldown now scales with item power. I find this interesting. right?
Yeah, I mean,
Like the more item power you have, now the faster the cooldown on the void. I like that.
expected, I would say. I don't know.
In what spell does it go down with? Does it?
A lot of them.
All right.
Bows and crossbows. Stuff shoots faster now. Pew, 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 pew.
Well, it gets there faster. It shoots at the same speed. Like you still have the same number of shots per second, right? But the projectile gets there faster.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't affect the DPS, right? It goes there faster. I don't know what. Can you see that? Are you? I guess if you're paying attention, you can see that. I don't think I could tell, sir.
No, Bogle, you'd have to watch people fight and probably engage in some fights yourselves.
Whoa, I heard that. But you also have the explosive mine from the Weeping Repeater now having an indication area where the mine is deployed and a slower projectile speed. No, speed of mine from 30 to 50. That means it's faster.
Yes.
Okay.
It gets there faster.
Yeah.
Projectile gets there faster, and now there's an icon on the ground when it lands. It goes ba-dunk.
No, I read this wrong. I was like, cool, now people can properly dodge these mines, and because people are getting blown up by them a lot. And I was like, but now it's actually harder to dodge. Okay.
Well, no, there's an indicator to show where the mine is deployed.
But
nobody looks at the ground. I know. You've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Daggers. They've gotten a lot of changes. Like every dagger got changes. Bogle, do you want to just read through this? Because I know you love reading.
Not really. I mean, the attack interval got reduced. The damage per attack also got reduced, sort of in sync with that. That goes for all of the daggers. The attack range was also nerfed a little bit for dual and death givers. Same reduction for the attack speed for claws and black hands. And the blood letter. And they removed the ability infiltration and changed that for deadly swipe.
Well, deadly swipe is the new Q.
All right, never mind. Yes, let me open the Destiny one. Look at this, so I can show this.
Okay, so I believe apply poison was also removed because it's now deadly swipe. No, it's okay. So there's where is it? Poison coating. There you go. Reworked the ability. It is now called Bloodthirsty Blade. That's the one that was changed. They added a new Q. This is a much different weapon class now. People are going to have to work on this. What do you want to talk about? Poison coating or
no?
Deadly swipe. Deadly swipe is at the top. You leap forward to a targeted area and deal 75 damage to all enemies in a 3M radius. Applies 1 stack of Assassin Spirit on yourself per enemy hit. Okay. Cool beans.
And
we have to open the Destiny board to find out what Assassin Spirit does.
I am on it. It is the thing where you get more damage, but when you have it on, you take more damage as well.
Yes, I remember it.
And for the dual daggers, if you have a bunch of these, then you do more damage. Like it's a sort of a trigger thing.
It's good. Good. Do more damage.
You're having me in here to talk about PvP skills.
I know this is the most. This is like when Lupac told you to cast.
Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if you have a blood letter now, you have the deadly swipe, the dash, and the lunging stabs. Is that more mobility or less? I mean, if you accidentally hit stuff with the deadly swipe, then you're in combat. That's a problem. But reading this seems like more mobility. Am I looking at this wrong? But less. Chat says less. Okay. A lot of people are trying the new dagger though, because it seems like it could be a nice PvE weapon, right? getting your health back and stuff. That's one of these things you want to have in farming, potentially solo dungeons a lot. And I'm very curious to see whether or not Dagger can compete with the axe sort of for PvE. It doesn't have the AoE, so I don't
know. Well, we will find out when people start using it. I think that it's going to be interesting to see how this works over time. I think poison coating sounds cool. I want to see how this really ends up working for people.
Okay.
I'm interested to see it. I like the changes. I like the idea of daggers being different than they were. Like, they didn't feel that much different than some of the other, when you really think about it, other melee weapons. You just hit people and you do things. Now they're much faster and they have a mechanic built into them. And you have to kind of judge where your mechanic is and follow through. It's going to be interesting to see. It's like a balancing act now. I want to see how it works out.
One thing that people need to learn about, though, is the attack speed caps. I know there's some confusion on, how fast you can do attacks and how much you should know.
Well, I'll tell you this, Bogul. The first build that I ever failed at was a one-hand cursed build that was based on attack speed. And I found out how incredibly easy it is to get to max attack speed and have this issue of diminishing returns just totally cripple you. And I believe I even had, I think it was Retro Man was trying to explain to me how it worked. And I got like boggled so quickly that I was just like, so what you're saying is attack speed bonuses, don't use them, right? He's like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that after you get 11%, then it goes down. I'm like, no. What you're telling me is don't worry about attack speed. Like, stop. Like, because like,
I think that's
I use 2 items and I'm done.
I think that's an open area of Albion research. If somebody wants to write a thesis about it,
into that and get as frustrated as I was. I find like with 2 strong attack speed bonuses, or I don't even know how to say this. Attack speed
passives? No.
Yeah, like, well, no, not like you get the chest and then you get the like the omelet and you're done. Like that's it. Like there you go. So you
let's
like
talk about first
you
steps
get we're just talking about how you get to the like the the diminishing returns are fast is all I'm saying. Okay. All right, let's go on to, I think we can pretty much say, okay, Hoarfrost does more damage.
More radius.
It's better overall. It just has been tuned to be more effective. Ice shards do less damage versus mobs. Moving on. Ground Pound on Grovekeeper had its stun duration lowered a great deal from 3.25 seconds to 2.5 seconds. Combine that with the new changes to the disarray, and we are hearing a lot of squeaks from the Grovekeeper community. They are very squeaky right now. They're like, we could use some oil. Why did you do this to us? This hurts. Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
I mean, the engage was pretty long for the stuns, right?
Yeah, honestly, I didn't see that the Grovekeepers were that terribly affected in the ZVZs we watched today. I still saw them being effective. The engagements were solid. We saw some people who were still able to follow up with DPS, while others were slower to respond. But I think that overall, this just increases the length of fights overall. People wanted to see more fighting. Like when you were traveling 15 zones to get to a battle, and then you die in the first engagement, it sucked. It sucks less now that you're just not stunning as long. Like you leapt in, you did your stun, you were like, oh, that feels less effective. Okay, I'm still involved in the second and third and fourth and fifth engagement. Why? Okay, I'm not. Sorry, somebody seems very upset about the way I treated Title today. Bogul, did we level any smack talk at Title today?
No, I don't. I mean, they lost, but I think
they lost a really long, awesome fight. I gave props to CIR for winning a fight. Okay, moving on. Holy staffs, holy explosions, great holy staff. Now only the first hit knocks back. Oh.
But way further.
But way, way further.
Is 15 meters a lot? I never know with this.
Like, I don't know.
How much
in this
is
game?
15?
Like, the other side of the screen.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's like the full. Like that's pretty far. That's like.
Okay. I don't play Holy. I have no idea if this is good or bad or anything.
Apparently, angry Carl is proving his name correct, and he's being very angry that whatever I said about Title was too mean. Sorry, Title.
Aw.
Sorry. I love you guys. You did awesome. Surf, CIR Poe, you all did awesome today. It was a great fight. I hope none of you guys are hurt. I don't want your feelings to be hurt. I want you to come back and fight again tomorrow because it was fun to watch. Better? Okay. Quarter staff. For nature staffs. Revitalize. All nature staffs. Disruption factor went from 0 to 5. This means the channel can be reduced by incoming damage. Okay. Good to know. Now, while you're channeling that Revitalize, you can have it become less effective.
I like the next one, Fatal Blade Black Monk Staff. It removed the channel that sort of made this weapon, I think, Black Monk Staff, one of the what's the English word?
Not used.
Not ever
useless.
Ever used.
Oh my god, Bogul, do you realize that there was a time when I had stacks and stacks and stacks of Black Monk staves like in my inventory, because what it used to do is you would run through a crowd and it would drag everybody in the crowd that you ran to into one spot. It was amazing. And then it's not that anymore.
Well, now the area stays on the ground. You can move around and the area lasts longer, which I saw that staff being used in the VZ today for briefly once.
Well, as soon as we saw that these changes were incoming, we saw people starting to bring out the Black Monk staff and using Fatal Blade. And at the time, it stayed where you were and you had to channel it, but people were still trying to use it to see how effective it would be and if they could use it. And I think people are going to use this. Now, why don't we go ahead and open up the Black Monk staff, Bogul, so you can tell people what kind of debuff this gives people, because I do not remember the exact stats off the top of my head and I have to open it up myself.
Black Monk staff, showing it on screen. Not the crafting one.
Nope, it's the one right in the middle. It's the really, really cool looking staff that nobody uses.
Yeah, well. Fatal Blade. Throw a demonic copy of your weapon on the ground. Target location where it keeps spinning at the position for 5 seconds. Hitting enemies every 5 seconds in a radius. Each hit deals physical damage and applies a debuff that reduces move speed by 8 and damage by 22 against players.
And it stacks.
Up to 4 times, meaning you can do, if you stand in this thing, you do 90% less damage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It slows you down.
88%.
That's close enough to 90. We'll round it up for you, Bogul. I'll let your napkin math pass. But no, if you can throw this in a choke and you throw down inertial ring as well, you can just stop people. Just done. And they're not doing nothing. I see this as a really good way to stop like those dive comps, not so much in ZVZ, but we were talking about builds to use this in 5-man where you use it to stop dive comps. For people who are already bringing ironclad and stuff like that. This gives a different kind of usefulness. It'll be interesting to see how much it gets used. I'm not saying it's going to become the next meta machine or nothing like that, but it'll be interesting to see if people get to use it. And there's ways to use it now that you don't have to stand on top of it.
The next one is the spear change for move speed per stack. I know that the inner focus and the spare weapon was a very, very popular solo, and that relied heavily on the move speed bonus. And that's, I guess, a first step.
That's a nerf. That's Well, hopefully that will slow down some of the ratting. Okay. Sword, Soulless Stream on the Galatine Pair. This was the big clap weapon. This is the one you go in, get your soldier armor all worked up. You go into the middle of a dude, you get yourself beam, you try to clap like 15 people real quick. Like, bam, done. Slapped. Not so much anymore. Now there are giant gaps in the hitboxes, and the hitboxes are now visible in game. Let's see if it works. Don't know.
Don't know either.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen some claps, but it's hard to tell in the middle of a battle how much it's affecting. It's more the kind of thing that a player themselves who's doing the clap would feel like. As soon as they hit the Soulless Stream themselves, be like, that guy didn't get hit. Oh, God, he's hitting me. This is bad. This is bad. Yeah, that's what I think you're going to hear about.
Nasty Wounds, Hood of Tenacity. Also reduces healing output by 50%. What is that? What's Hood of Tenacity? I looked. It's the Avalonian one. It's the Avalonian leather hood.
Thank God. I was like, what don't I know? I'm like, wait a second. What? The what? I was really kind of concerned there for a minute, Bogul, that my brain just kind of went blank on an item. No, I understand why I wouldn't know a Avalonian hood. I'm okay with that. I'm all right with that. I feel okay.
So the baseline is creates a swirl of energy around you within a 5-meter radius for 2.5 seconds, which damages enemies every 0.5. That now also reduces their healing output.
Reduces their healing output, or reduces your healing output, or just reduces healing output
their
in the
ability
area?
to heal reduced by.
Okay, so it says so
healing received by.
Okay.
So that's sort of like damage. I don't know, when would you use it? After some sort of big hit, and then it's like, all right, nope, no heals. Okay, cool.
Yeah. All right. We do have some people noticing something in chat, and I'm very proud of this too. I think this is awesome. Yes, our peak numbers right now are higher than free to play. So if you're experiencing some difficulties in game, understand that the entire world is locked inside their house and is on the internet. And a good chunk of them are playing Albion Online, which is kind of awesome, right? Yeah, I'm happy about it. But it is resulting in some hiccups, some queues, some situations that are less than ideal. And I acknowledge it, and I'm sorry. I will break out my multi-tool later, and I will go to town on the wires.
I think you're supposed to stay home.
I'm gonna just in my basement.
Because the server is in your basement?
No, I wouldn't do that. But if I rub my multi-tool against the wires, sometimes it makes my internet go bad. I figure, like, All right, so on to armors.
Fear Aura, Fiend Robe.
Nerfs across the board.
Yes. Channel duration is, shorter. But the healing per tick is lower. The energy per tick is lower.
You're on 3 different robes here, Bogul. Okay, so the Fear Aura on Fiend Robe, the channel duration has gone down by a second. Levitate on the Cultist Robe has had its heal per tick gone down by 1%, as well as its energy per tick by 1% from 4 to 3. The energy emission on Robe of Purity has had its duration.
What's a Robe of Purity?
Robe of Purity? It's the one with energy emission on it.
Right.
And the duration of that spell went down from 7 to 5 seconds.
It's the Avalonian one again.
Yes, the Avalonian one. If I don't know what it is, it's got to be Avalonian.
Just making sure everybody knows what we're talking about. Right?
Yeah. And requisite on the Armor of Valor, the channel is now uninterruptible. You can't interrupt it. Like, you can't interrupt it. It's uninterruptible.
Do I need to ask again what's Armor of Valor?
Go for it. Ask.
What's Armor of Valor?
It's the Avalonian.
Nice. Okay. So now we learned the names, right? We learned Purity, Valor, and Tenacity. Avalonian.
Yeah. Oh my God. I feel like I need to go really learn those armors. I will as soon as I start seeing them being used. Gathering gear. Flea, Miner's Work Boots, has had its buff duration increased. Its silent duration increased. This is the one that, lets you flee after you silence everybody, right?
No,
The
it's
miners
you
work
silence
boots.
yourself and then run.
Whoa. It's not the one with that's smoke bombs. All right.
I never used miner. Am I right, chat? Did I say this right? No. But the harvester.
I can go look at my gear. That's what I'd have to do is go look at my own gear and find it.
Harvester boots cleanse yourself on activation. The range is longer and the sprint is now proper.
I do use the lumberjack boots occasionally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'll use them even more now because their shield strength has doubled, more than doubled.
I mean, 300 is like nothing though.
It's better than it was.
True. It's also faster.
Yeah. Well, yeah. It can no longer be purged either.
Quarrier work boots have their sprint increased duration as well. So
just buffs across the board for boots, you know, except for Skinner boots, as we've seen from Octane JB. He says that the Skinner boots didn't get no buff. No buff for Skinners. That's because Skinners are OP. And they can't really. The other thing is that the average Skinner is just so much more skilled than every other gatherer that it's hard to balance them against other gatherers.
Why?
It's hard to get. Well, it's hard to get like clear data because they're just so good. I'm just saying. Well, Skinners are just that much better than other gatherers because you got to be good at the game. That's my Skinner bias, you know.
I think I'm getting troll chat. Mounts. This is different. Like for the longest time, if you basically always have to be super careful to stay inside your circle. Mm-hmm. You can't leave it. I mean that still applies for Oxus, right? But now certain mounts you can just walk out of your circle and just have the carry weight bonus still apply. That's idea of changing the behavior this way also caused a complete rework of the carry weight with the various mounts. It does have more carry weight, it looks like, at various tiers.
Well, some do, some don't. It gets...
Tier 4 went down, Tier 5 went down, the riding horse. 6 as well, but 7 and 8 went up.
Yeah.
Bone horse went up, giant horse went up, dire boar went up, wild boar
went down. Dire boar down.
True, but not much.
No. Wild boar up.
Is that getting used anyway? I never see this.
I don't know. Spectral dire boar down. Swamp dragon way down. Swamp dragon
that's
no
one of
longer.
The biggest one, huh?
Yeah, that's cut in half there. That's pretty brutal. Swamp salamander up. Avalonian basilisk way up.
600 is like nothing anyway.
Yeah, but it's so much more than it was.
Sure.
Bogul, come on. You're saying 600 is nothing. Compare that to what? What is that? 600 is more than a T8 riding horse. So are we going to continue to say it's nothing? Come on.
I'm wrong. You're right. True.
See, internet? I can be right twice a day. About mount abilities?
Let's see. Multi-shot, cast time down, leap of the frost ram, cooldown down, and the beetle buzz of the Colossus beetle. The cast time has been upped and the radius been nerfed. I've seen these a lot, the beetles at least in ZVZ, and they are, I think, pretty popular, pretty strong. I don't know what the leap is kind of cool, I guess, but I've never seen frost rams ever. I don't even know what this does.
What? The leap? The leap was so much fun. It was. Never mind. You can't cross anything with it though. It's purely cosmetic.
Oh.
It's like flying.
Do you know if the RAM is on the wiki? Let's see. Albion Online wiki, Frost RAM. I I should have done this from chat, right? I should have / wikied it and then get Frostram gallery. That's different mounts. Where's the skill? Leap. Jump to a target location while in the air. You are invulnerable and can't be hit by any crowd control effects.
I know it's not purely cosmetic, Bogul, but you're only doing that because I said I was right twice a day, and you're like, well, let me prove me right once. I see how it is, Bogul. I see how it is. All right, the beetle buzz of the Colossus beetle has had its cast time changed to 1 second, and its radius reduced from 10 meters to 9. Are those meters or M's? Because is it just M's? Is it 10M because it's just like that much on your screen?
10 metrics?
10 M's.
I never know how much a meter is in game. It's super hard to tell.
I don't know how much a meter is in real life.
Because you're American, right?
Oh, what are you saying? Because I'm American, I don't know how to use meters?
Yes.
Disarray. The previous iteration of Disarray, aka the Zerg debuff, made large fights very much focused on one-shot builds. Additionally, if 2 Zergs fought each other, it was possible to remove the debuff and deal more than 100% damage by splitting one of the groups. Defense reduction has therefore been removed and replaced with reduced CC duration and reduced received healings. To keep the debuffs
effective, the escalation rate per additional player has been increased accordingly. So the new debuffed attributes are now only bonus damage versus players, CC duration versus players, and received healing.
All right.
But
all right, now,
if you look at the ramp up, it's faster.
Yeah, so I want you for the next 8 minutes, if you could just go through each one of these and just tell them what the old player threshold and the new player threshold is. We have about 8 minutes for you to go through these. So I'm just going to hang out here while you read through the patch notes, okay?
1% old 26. 2% new 26. Old was 27. 3% was, or the new one is 27. It was 28. 4% isn't. This is confusing.
Yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so the idea is it ramps up faster. Okay, we're gonna get to shout outs. We're gonna do another raffle, and then we're gonna head out of here. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the patch breakdown. We have some fixes, I guess, don't we? Do you want to go through the fixes while I go and start another or finish the raffle? Do something with a raffle?
Sure.
Okay. Oh, people can barely hear Bogul. They're still complaining about this. Like, you're too quiet. I can hear you just fine.
Hello, chat?
Yeah, do that. Do that. Talk like that.
But then the thing goes full red, and then it doesn't.
They love it. They love it when you're red.
No. What?
Just do it. Just tell them the fixes.
Fixed an issue where the Alliance fame drain also was reducing fame from PvP. Fixes an issue where some flat areas didn't allow for hideout placements, and spell fixes. One big one, I think, is that the Bow of Baden now actually interrupts enemy casts. The Black Hand's Devastating Strike is more reliable, and the artillery fire from the fire staves can now be removed by emergency heals.
As intended.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, we had 3 winners. We had Treewalk, who once again has won the raffle. We had Cowbats, who I believe are responsible for all of this. And Fago Soda, who has also won the raffle.
Shout outs.
Congratulations to those who won the raffle. If you don't know what to do when you win the raffle, you whisper me.
In game?
No. Right here on Twitch. What it does is when you whisper me on Twitch, it creates a record of your conversation with me, and it says that you have won, and then I know that you won. That's how you win. Bogul, let's get to shout outs.
I think we have a problem. because we have like 15. They might have been from the previous show that we did, the previous 2 shows.
All right, well, that happens. They happen. All right, Eggs on Fang. Obligatory Brave Newbies is recruiting shoutout. I hope this was made during the time where we were actually recruiting for Brave Newbies. That would have been funny. Fabricator 11. Wasn't a fan of you, Shozen, but props to you guys trying to get people out there going. Thank you, Fabricator. I hope that one day you will be a fan of mine. Albion News 24. Newbie is recruiting. We have many activities around the clock. Come check out our community Discord. Is on our site, www.newbiealliance.com. If you are a veteran who wants to give back, please join our Discord today. What is your fun per hour? 4. Currently, my fun per hour is 4. Join CXL. Don't ever stay a noob and join a real guild to gank some noobs. Join CXL today, not tomorrow. That's by Juan on top. Doom Chinchilla. Doom #1 video, NA.
Editor.
No. Yeah, I forgot a word there. Doom Chinchilla. Doom #1 video editor, NA. Also, maybe game of the year. Oh my God, Doom's so good. I am Dry Stan. Can I ask something? Question mark?
Yes.
Yes. Nosk TV. Check out the newest episode of Black Zone Tales, episode 46. Nosk TV at youtube.com/Nosk TV. Naja Gaming. Starting my stream in less than 30 minutes. Ooh, cool. Hey, if you are up when we leave, I will host you. How's that? Coyote Mex. Chancho Army is recruiting. Top 50 this seeming. Aiming for gold rank. Fort Sterling based. That means it's cold there. Fabricator 11. Tell us what the new Avalonian weapons do that were announced or I'll unfollow. They hit things. Troskar, shout out to Shozen for his hosts for starting today at the new Newbies AO show. Hope it will pick up many more viewers and will help them find their path in AO. More players means more content for everybody. That is true. NOS TV, check out the latest episode of Black Zone Tales, episode 46, available now on youtube.com/NOS TV. All right. That was shout outs.
Good job, sir. Yeah. We had... Wait, what? Suddenly it says shout out 4 more, but I just see 1.
That's because they were at, if I go, it shows me 12 and I see 1 more. Randium, for the new players, what type of guilds are you interested in seeing? Or guides. Nope, that's guides. Guides. It's way over on the other side of the screen now. Hold on. We're going to try this from the beginning. Randium, who won a raffle earlier today. For the new players, what type of guides are you interested in seeing? Working on new YouTube series at the moment. They like getting rich quick. They really, really do. They really like getting rich quick. That's what the new players like. They also like quick leveling guides for new gear for new players. Level quick. Guide to gear. Do that.
I think people would also be interested in a 50-minute lecture series on the origin of the chestnut tree. If that's...
People are really interested in chestnut, the who, what, when, where's, and why of it. I mean, I see more questions about chestnut every day than I do about anything else in Albion. Even more than... That's the most. That's the most. That one's the most. Yeah. There's nothing even comes close. Like, more than should I get premium?
Yes. By the way, what happened to gold? I didn't even look today.
It's still not where I want it to be.
2.6. Okay, that's
267.
Didn't change much from yesterday. A little bit.
No, it went down, and then came back up. Trust me, if you guys were somebody who bought earlier in the week when it was, or like you switched over when it was around 2.5, 2.6, and you were like, oh gosh, it's going up. It's up to 2.9. If you didn't sell when it was at 2.9, right now you're one of those guys who's going, ha, 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 ha. I don't know anybody who's doing that right now. Watching the gold market.
All right, sir. Finally, Queen Patch 8 out of the door in the game. Should be effective, should be relevant, especially for this weekend. Mm-hmm. We do have the invasion coming up on this weekend. It's the start of double points for the guild season. It is the last month of season 8, which is always exciting. We will be showing the invasion shenanigans here on Albion TV on Saturday. Twice the EU and NA coverage with Shozen, Lupak, and myself, hopefully. I'm hoping that the servers won't have with all the people. And it's going to be an interesting invasion day. Pretty busy, I think.
Sabotage is telling us all about chestnut trees in America. Chestnut trees in America had a blight during the late 1990s, killed about 95% of them. If you see a very large chestnut tree today, it could be an American chestnut tree, and the seeds might be valuable. Cool. Now I'm going to ask Bogul to read this guy's name who won the raffle.
Solstar 4 Aquilaria. Solstar 4 Aquilaria.
Whisper me, that guy. To claim your prize.
Okay.
I'll even type that in chat so you can find my name easier. Yeah, I only give prizes to people who actually click on it. Okay, I'm going to allow this.
Best I've ever heard it pronounced. Good job. Yes. Yes. Thank you, Aquaman.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will be back when? Tomorrow?
18-ish? 19? 18
well,
and 19.
18-ish, because sometimes we go a little bit early, right?
True.
Right, because we're going to be watching the GVG show. Not GVG, GVZ show. The Letters show. And we hope to see some fighting, because we've seen a bunch this week. It's been good. Ever since the nap that wasn't a nap stopped being a nap that never was a nap, we've seen more action out there, and it's been good. So, as Noska's saying, stay safe, stay inside, stay away from everybody, stay playing Albion, and I'll see you tomorrow at 18 and 19 UTC right here on twitch.tv/Albion Online.
Bye.